Alright, so today I wanted to talk about what I believe is one of the most pivotal lessons you can learn as a human. Arguably, in my opinion, probably one of the most important things you can learn, and that would be communication. That would be being direct with people. That would be being honest with people. But to be frank, to shorten it up, communication. So, I used to be one of the most incredibly passive people pleasers you would have ever met. It was awful, and a lot of it was rooted in a lack of self-respect and not wanting to hurt others and being afraid of the consequences of what that would get me. And ironically enough, never mind. But this was one of the first important lessons in my life I had actually learned. And once you learn the power of communication, the power of being direct and honest with people, you become so, I don't want to say powerful, but it is so empowering. It really is, to just be able to tell people how it is, tell people how you feel, tell people what you think, and be honest. It is so empowering. Because when you aren't doing that, when you're dancing around a topic, when you're avoiding a topic, whenever you are being emotionally manipulative, whenever you're doing whatever you're doing to avoid being direct, you are not being honest to the people around you. You're not being honest to yourself. You are being awful to the people around you. You're being awful to yourself. And that is just, it's silly. I'm going to be frank with you, it's silly. And we are not children anymore. We use our words. We need, if I could broadcast one message to the entire world, it would be to use your freaking words. As somebody who has been surrounded by some of the most incredibly passive people my entire life, this is something I'm just so incredibly passionate about. And again, whenever you are dancing around topics, when you're not being honest with yourself and with others about how you feel and what you want, you are being a bad no, you're not being a bad person. I don't want to say that. You are not being fair to them, and you are not being fair to yourself. The people around you deserve honesty, and you deserve to give your honesty. Because how would you feel if somebody was lying to you about how they felt? How would you feel if somebody, for example, led you on for so long because they didn't want to hurt your feelings by saying no? And they dragged you along for all of that. Hold on, I gotta plug in my computer. And they dragged you along with all that. And then you were under this false guise the entire time, and you believed them, and you thought they felt some sort of way, and you thought they were okay with something when they weren't. And how unfair is that to you? How unfair is that to you? And they're miserable too, because they're lying about how they feel, and they're putting themselves through that experience just to make you feel better, which in reality it's just prolonging an awful, not truth. And opposed to that, another way of not being direct would be emotional manipulation, which sometimes you don't even realize is a manipulation when you're doing it, but it can be like silent treatments. For example, whenever you're upset with your partner or a friend and you expect them to read your mind, or you start doing reckless things or passive aggressive things to try to get their attention, or try to get them a response from them. That's not how you do that. We are not kids anymore. That is not how you do that. You take them to the side and be like, hey, I need to talk to you about something, and be honest. And if you lose that friend in your honesty, that's a good thing. You shouldn't have people in your life who would get mad at you for being honest. That's kind of ridiculous. And I can't tell you how many people I've lost from being honest. How many people have thought I was ridiculous when I was direct. But despite all of that, I could not be more grateful for being a direct person. I think it is one of my favorite qualities in a person, and it is one of my favorite things about myself. I can be straight up and honest with anybody. And to be frank, again, if you fear the person you're being honest with, what are they doing in your life? You're literally perpetuating your misery, and often cases in theirs. like, first off, that would probably just mean they have like a selfish like hold on you, like, and they love you conditionally, which that's not cool. That's not cool at all, amongst other things. But again, whenever you aren't being direct, whenever you aren't communicating, you're being unfair to yourself and unfair to everyone around you, and it's just, it's not cool. Personally, I cannot stand when people aren't direct with me. I don't play the games. I don't play the games where you're passive aggressive, or you give me silent treatments, or you are manipulative because you can't speak up. I don't play those games, and I don't tolerate people like that in my life. Like, we aren't children anymore. You need to be able to be direct with people. Unless you are a child, then use this video to get out of the game. I know I'm being more aggressive in this video, but this is something I am genuinely so... It heats me up. It heats me up because I've been surrounded by passive people all my life, and I've begged them to communicate with me, and again, to get passiveness because they didn't want to hurt my feelings. So whenever you do that, you are still hurting their feelings. You're lying to people. I want to tell you now that you're perpetuating your own issues. You have to cut the BS from your life and start being honest and start being direct. It doesn't make you a bad person. It does not make you a bad person. Alright, I also wanted to quickly add that personally I struggled with being direct and honest with people because I was afraid of hurting their feelings, but I want you to put this into perspective. You are just as equal as this person you are being passive with. Why do their feelings deserve to be spared any more than yours? You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be honest. You deserve that for yourself. Even if it hurts the other person. And it's good that it's good to hurt the other person opposed to lying to them and opposed to dragging things on. It's good to do that. Like, not saying it's good to like hurt people, but like, it's good to be honest to people. It's you can't worry about hurting people's feelings and not be honest because of that, because you're hurting your own feelings by doing that. You're betraying yourself by doing that, and you are just as equal as this person. You are just as equal as everybody around you, and you can't throw yourself under the bus, and you can't throw them under the bus by being passive, by lying, by doing these things. You need to respect yourself. You need to be good to yourself because you deserve it too. You deserve it more than they deserve to have their feelings spared by something that isn't the truth. I want to add that quickly in there because I forgot in the one take I had done it. But yeah, sorry if this is like choppy editing. Because I want you to imagine someone in your life who can communicate, who can just tell you, oh, I don't feel like that, or oh, I don't like that that happened, or something like that, and you don't think anything of it. You don't think, oh, they're so awful. I can't believe they set a boundary. Like, come on. But yeah, my message for you today is cut the BS. Be honest to people, and it is hard at first, but you only need to do it a couple times, and then it like goes like a trigger, like a flip switch in your mind, and it suddenly becomes so easy to do it with everybody else in your life and everything else in your life. Just put a foot down and be like, no. You know, you don't have to be aggressive about it. I would not suggest to be aggressive about it, but you don't have to be assertive or like rah about it. You can just be like, hey, I want to be honest with you. This is actually how I feel, or I'm gonna be honest with you, blank blank blank, or why did you do this? This hurt my feelings. You know, I'm just throwing examples out there. But again, cut the passive aggressiveness, the BS out. Cut that out. Cut out expecting people to read your mind, and getting mad at them when they don't. That's not a fun road to go down. It's not fun being in the shoes of that. Because trust me, I've been there, and it is not fun. It perpetuates your misery, it perpetuates the misery of everybody around you. It makes people uncomfortable. It's just, be honest with yourself and be honest with others. That's my message for you today. I know I got a bit heated, but I am passionate on the topic. And peace and love, guys. I hope you have a wonderful night, and communicate. Be honest with others. Be fair to yourself, and to the people around you, because you deserve it, and everybody around you deserves it. Peace, guys.